Boom! This is literally all you need to get started running clicks and tracks. Wow. Loud. This is gonna break and fall out from under me mid-video. Hey everybody, anybody that is subscribed to my YouTube channel or watches any of my videos knows that I play drums. I've been playing drums and playing in churches for, I guess, a little over 10 years now, which is crazy to think it's been that long. So the longer I've been doing music within the church, the more I view what we do, and I sit back and think, man, if there is anybody that should be trying to challenge themselves, push themselves, grow, develop, be committed, we should be trying to push ourselves and challenge ourselves to be the absolute best that we can be. And to me, one of the easiest and most simple ways to do that is by playing with a click track. And I'm astounded nowadays at the amount of church musicians and singers and worship teams that I still encounter that frankly don't play with a click track and never have played with a click track. And if I'm being completely honest, when I kind of started to wrestle through this stuff, I had no clue where to start because there were tons of software and expensive stuff that you constantly hear about that you need to get, and all this stuff you have to hook up, and it just seems so overwhelming and super complicated and downright expensive. It's almost like, where do you start? And trust me, there are so many different ways to do this and better ways to do it than I do it and our church does it. But the way we do it is super simple, and a lot of it costs next to nothing to get going. Again, from this video, you can continue to explore tons of different ways that you can do this and customize certain things. So I'm gonna show you my setup, and hopefully this is just gonna help you get started and answer some very simple questions that you have to just get you going in the right direction. Boom! This is the fancy setup. Don't mind all the junk in my office in the background. This is literally all you need to get started running clicks and tracks. So I'll walk you through all the specific stuff I got here. All we got is just two direct boxes. Just got your two in and out, and then you got an output microphone channel output over here. So I run two of those, and then this cord is a stereo 3.5 millimeter male end to a 2/4 inch split. So these are just your typical 1/4 inch cables, and so both of these plug in as, get this back in here, as inputs into the in channel of the direct box. And then what I don't have here, just because it's plugged in on the stage and I didn't want to go through all the hassle, but you just plug in your microphone cable to each of these. You'll need two of those, one to each go as the output, and it plugs into your stage or wherever your channel inputs are on your stage. So that runs, I have it running, hey, there's me, to my iPad, and wow, that is dirty. My fingerprints are everywhere. So I'm using an iPad. The cool thing with this app, I'm gonna explain to y'all, you can use it with a phone as well. But this is Multitrack's playback app. So basically what you do is you go on multitracks.com, and that's if you want to use tracks, which we'll get into that later. But that's where you would purchase the tracks, and then to use them the best way, you can download them on your computer if you have something a little more experienced like Ableton or something else to put them into. But for simplicity's sake, I would encourage you, especially if you're just getting started on this, to use the playback app. So you download that, pull it up, and this is what it looks like. So let's just say we're just wanting to use a click. We've never used a track before. We just want to get used to playing with a click. Then guess what? Everything I'm about to show you is completely free. You do not have to buy click tracks from the playback app, or from multitracks.com. You can pull up their playback app, which is free as well. To use a click on here, it is completely free. Free. So all you would do, you just hit add song, We come in here, and so you have a couple options. You got My Library, which is the songs you would purchase, or Click Tracks. You could Click Tracks, and whatever the name of your song would be. Ours is going to be, okay? And let's just say this song is a slow song. Most of your slow worship songs are going to be somewhere between 72 BPM and 68 BPM. And so you set the tempo of the song, and then you select your time signature, okay? You hit add, bingo. There's your song. As it is, if we just downloaded it straight and just played it.
1, 2, 1.
This is what it sounds like.
3, 4.
Okay. Now, me personally, I hate the little clap. That's the accent. So you can just pull that accent out. So then you just have, a couple options you could do. You could just have the quarter note, which is just the 1, 2, 3, 4 pulse. I like to always have the 8th note pulse in there, so it's giving you, it just helps having a little more tempo in there. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. You can get crazy and go 16th notes. If you got somebody that's really bad at keeping tempo, you can do that as well, but I would say let's not. So there you go. You got your click. Now, a couple things to be aware of. As you're running these, when you hit play, it is just gonna play, that click is gonna play continuously. It is set, when you just play a click by itself, it is set on infinite loop. So it is just gonna go until you stop it. You got a couple different options. There's your restart button. Edit is what you would hit. And then if you wanted to add another click track, you just hit the add button and you go through the same process we did to begin with. Now, of course, important thing to note, if you are running a click, that means you are wanting your band members to hear, and your singers to hear a click track in their in-ears as they're playing, not in the house accompanied by the rest of the music. That's obnoxious. And again, even if we're honest, a click track is kind of obnoxious to listen to, but we use it for its purpose of keeping us all on time and on tempo. That is much more appeasing to the listener of the worship music than your band playing a million different tempos, speeding up, slowing down, all that good stuff. So, of course, this is gonna be something you're just gonna hear in your ears. So, because of that, because we wanna do this, this is what you need to be sure to do. On the app, the way you will have this set up is one of these, and I'm not sure which, but you can just plug it up and hit play and let it run on your sound system and be able to figure it out. But the click is going to be running, right now it's running a stereo, but what I want to be sure to do is hit this little icon right here, come down here, and one of the first things is auto pan. So you can set the click and the guide to left and tracks to right. So we want to make sure that is on and green. So what that's going to do now is when you start actually playing with tracks, what you're allowing yourself to do is your click and your guide run together to one, let's say to the left side, for instance, to the red, and your tracks will, all the musical part of things will run to your right track. So then as you play it and you turn it on from the board, what you can do is just take the slider that the click and the guide are running to and drop the slider down in the house so you don't hear it in the house, but then you can adjust it and still hear it in the ears. And then, of course, all your tracks, your music stuff will be running to this one in a completely different channel, so you can adjust the volume of those as needed. Thank you so much for watching. Again, the goal is not to be an expert of everything and anything by tomorrow or by the end of this video. The goal is always just to take the first step. If you can take one step in playing with a click track for a song or a couple songs or the entire worship set, then you're accomplishing something because you're doing more than you've done before and you're challenging yourself in new ways than you've been challenged before. And that's the goal. I'll be posting part 2 of this type of movie video series, if you will, soon to start to take another step in walking you through the using of these tracks and how you can kind of customize them to your sound and to what you're needing and what you aren't needing. So be on the lookout for that. If you haven't yet, If you enjoyed this video, if this helped you, please like it. Subscribe to the channel to keep up with some stuff that's coming up and some things I'll be posting in the future. And leave me a comment. I'd love to know how this helped you, how this impacted you. If you have any questions, comment those below as well. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.